If you have an appetite for destruction, Red Faction Guerrilla is your cup of tea. Now the game is set on Mars and is a sequel to the previous two Red Faction games. Although the first two were first-person shooters, Guerrilla is an open-world game not unlike Saints Row. This is no surprise as developers of Guerrilla, Volition Inc. are in fact the developers of the Saints Row franchise.
Now, where Saints Row 2 offered one of the most engaging and immersive gaming experiences this year, Red Faction Guerrilla sports a shallow story with an unmotivated protagonist. During these oversensitive times, the motivation to play a terrorist in the game should at least be justified.
Yep. For those too young to remember, the first Red Faction game took place on Mars around the year 2178.
Alec Mason came to Mars in search of freedom. But instead of finding man's next frontier, he found a world gripped by oppression.
Humans had come to Mars to mine for minerals which had almost depleted on Earth. Now Guerrilla takes place almost 50 years later as you step into the shoes of Alec Mason, a miner fresh from Earth, who joins up with his brother who secretly is part of a rebellion against the oppressive military Mars government named the Earth Defense Force, or EDF. Now after a short tutorial, Alec's brother gets murdered by the EDF and fueled by vengeance, Alex joins the rebellion known as the Red Faction.
And now, you are our enemy. You are our target.
Yep, okay, Guerrilla takes full advantage of the GEO Mod 2.0 game engine. Now this allows every building and structure built on Mars, from lampposts to barracks, to be rendered destructible. Now kudos to the developers' performance and a balanced frame rate. Graphics are amazing and with sharp textures, lighting effects and a healthy draw distance. There's just so much to do. Now from driving to shooting to just blowing stuff up, Guerrilla is Saints Row on Mars.
Yep, but unlike Saints Row, the story is weak. Gunplay can be tiresome, there's no lock-on feature and the cover system is almost useless when everything you hide behind can be destroyed. This makes enemies especially hard to overcome and you could find yourself driving great distances to a mission only to die in a few seconds. Now there's no achievement or trophy if you complete the game on the hardest mode, because even on the easiest mode, enemies will often get the upper hand. Very frustrating. Moreover, missions are repetitive. You move from one district to the next doing the same missions, blow up or raid EDF structures, steal or intercept EDF vehicles, then you move on to the next town and do it again until all 6 are liberated.
But when all is said and done, Red Faction Guerrilla is all about blowing stuff up. And you are given a variety of annihilating weapons to dish out total destruction. Some weapons include remote chargers, a sledgehammer, machine guns, and our personal favourite, the nano rifle, which disintegrates every structure, vehicle and person.
Yep.
The game includes over 30 vehicles for you to hijack, as well as mechs to tear up the Martian wasteland. And before we forget, Guerrilla sports 6 multiplayer online modes and 1 offline multiplayer mode called Wrecking Crew.
Red Faction could have beefed up its story, especially after Volition did such an awesome job with Saints Row 2. But repetition isn't a bad thing, especially when it involves blowing stuff up. And which gamer doesn't like to blow up stuff?
That's very true. For that, a worthy 8.0 out of 10.
We'll hunt you from here to the ice caps.
Terminate all Red Faction insurgents.
What about the civilians, sir?
They're expendable.
They'll blow us, our towns, our whole planet to hell.